Good day, and welcome to another episode of Maximizing Your Singleness. We have a beautiful topic for today, and I hope that you will not only enjoy it, but you will be able to take the topic and apply it in a way that will cause you to feel the real joy that sometimes we neglect or forget, when we've gone through a situation where we now in a period of singleness. So we want to talk about today just a general topic of how you can reorient where you are in life and kind of retool so you can begin to experience the fullness of life as a single person. Because, unfortunately, when you think about not just life, but a society in general, we live in a world where it has become, I guess, more of a standard thing to think that the only way to be truly happy is to be united with somebody in some form or fashion, And I don't know if you remember this because we have a few years between us, but back in the early '70s, when Good Times first came out, right? There was a scene where Florida Evans was trying to help Willona find a mate. And they were going, doing everything to help Willona find a mate. And Willona said something that stuck with me, and I think is so appropriate for what we're talking about today. Willona said, "There's a difference between being alone and being lonely."
That's true.
And she said to Florida, she said, "I may be alone, but I have never been lonely."
All right.
And she said, as a single person. And then she said to her, "I was lonelier when I was married than I am now that I'm single." And so she said, "It is worse to be in a marriage and feel by yourself than to be by yourself and feel good about yourself."
That is so true.
And I think, and that's the key. And so I think that's where we are today. And that's what we need to look at.
Wow. That's true. I've been in that situation before myself, not necessarily when I was married, but in another relationship after my divorce when I was with someone. And actually, we were living together. And I was lonely at that time. And it's amazing. And I didn't even realize that could happen, that you could still be with someone and feel lonely. And I did but I also recognized, because this was prior to me getting saved as an adult, I didn't necessarily know who I was at my core. I didn't know how to make myself happy, so I depended on him to do that. And that's one thing that we don't want to do. We don't want to put that pressure on someone, if it comes to that, if and when, to for a mate or even a friend to make us happy. We have to learn to make ourselves happy. So.
Well, I will say this, that's what you just described is a huge problem, okay? And that people tend to think that if I find the right person, that it'll make me happy.
And that's not true.
Right? It never works that way.
No.
Here's the thing. If I'm unhappy single, I'm going to make somebody else unhappy when I get married to them.
That's right.
Because if you marry an unhappy person, they don't just get happy.
No.
They stay an unhappy person. And now they make you unhappy.
That's true.
So now you have two unhappy people.
Yep.
And so the thing that we have to concentrate on is not thinking that if I hook up with someone, that will bring me joy. But to recognize that you can't wait to become joyful in life. You can't wait to get happy. What you have to do is decide, hey, listen, there is something missing from my life. Not a somebody missing from my life, but it's something missing from my life.
Yes.
And we have to figure out at the very core, what is that thing that's missing? And then once you can determine that, it will allow you to start to move in the direction where you are beginning to live life where you are now, as opposed to waiting to get to the place where you can based on if someone else is there with you.
That's true. And I'm going to stray away from this just a little bit from my notes a bit, because I recognize I was not truly fulfilled. And it's more about being fulfilled for me.
Absolutely.
Once I gave my life to Christ and surrendered and started operating in purpose, like doing what I'm doing right now, I began to discover who I was. It's going to take that to discover who you are as a person at your core. Um, you have to begin to heal your heart, discover some things about yourself, what hurts, and why you made some of the choices that you made in life. As you begin to go through that process and really surrender, then you will start to discover a lot about yourself. And I will say this, you really opened my eyes to a lot of things, and I don't think you recognize the impact that you have on us here at church. Listening to you preach, listening to you in Bible study, and some of the things that you have accomplished has kind of blown my mind a lot. So it's like, wow, how does he do all that? You've done so much. Just brag on you a little bit here. I mean, having your degrees, your bachelor, your master's, your PhD, your doctorate, and then with all of the other accomplishments, a pilot's license, a master diver, all these things. It's like, where did you find the time, and just how did you balance all that?
Well, here's the thing. See, everyone has a time. Right? Everyone has a time.
Okay.
And of course, I'm a married man, and had children at the time.
Okay.
And we still had career and all this kind of thing.
Okay.
But see, we all have the time to do a lot. What we don't have is the patience to get it done.
Okay.
Right.
I agree.
And most of us feel like, I mean, you think about this, for example. And again, I'm tying this to to maximizing your joy, not feel like you need someone else to help you maximize your joy.
Exactly.
Right. My wife just learned how to swim about 3 or 4 years ago.
Yeah, that's one thing I want to learn how to do.
So now, but I've been swimming since I was 6 years old.
Okay.
Okay. So if I was waiting on her to join me in swimming, I would have been miserable, for a long time in their relationship. Well, so if you do this, it's whether you're married or single.
I agree.
If I did not find a way to find joy in my ability or my level of water, then I would have blamed her for not allowing me to enjoy things.
Okay.
So one thing that I knew I could do was start to scuba dive.
Okay.
Because if I'm scuba diving, I'm in the water, I'm enjoying the water, and that doesn't take away from my relationship with her, but it also gives me something to enjoy by myself.
Okay.
Oftentimes people don't do that because what they're looking for is something that they can do as a couple.
Yeah.
As opposed to something you can do by yourself. And so normally you don't think of going to the beach by yourself, right? I get that, because you kind of want somebody to sit there with you, right? But when you go scuba diving, you're not looking for a mate. You're looking for a partner to dive with, right? Okay. And you're looking for a partner that can save your life if you get in trouble. That's what you're looking for. Because everyone needs a buddy diver. Well, the buddy diver doesn't have to be a male or a female. You're looking for a diver, right? The gender doesn't matter. The ethnic background doesn't matter.
True.
Right?
That's right.
So I still could find joy in doing that. And the same thing, like say, I became a pilot, right? Well, becoming a pilot is not something you do jointly. It's not like both of you learn how to fly. It's a thing that you do for you. And so, again, the same thing with anyone who's single. That's how single people have to look at life. Not that you're waiting on someone else for you to have an accomplishment, but that you're going to have the accomplishment because that's what you want.
Exactly.
Right. So even if I was single, I would still be a scuba diver. I would have still gotten my pilot's license. I would have still got my own plane. I would have still did all that stuff. But I would have been maximizing my singleness because I wouldn't have allowed my not being married to keep me from doing those very self-same things. Right. But that's oftentimes, I think, what people do is because they forget about themselves. And you can't forget about yourself when you're single.
No,
now,
you can't.
I'm not saying that all single people do this, but I'm just saying from my counseling a lot of single people, and this is unfortunately more with women than tend to be with men.
I agree.
Is that women tend to focus when they're single on getting back with somebody.
Yeah, we do.
Is that's the thing. And that's a societal norm, right? Society says you're not complete unless you're with someone.
Yeah.
So women tend to think of that. So therefore women do things to do that. Like women dress to do that. They don't admit it. Okay. Somebody gonna call in right now and say, I don't dress to get you, but women dress so someone will find them attractive, right? They put on makeup so someone will find them attractive. All those things. And it's true it makes you feel good about yourself as
Yeah,
well.
I like it because it makes me feel
But
more
a part of
confident.
that is it's also it's kind of an advertisement
You're
as
right.
well. You know that some handsome young man with reasonable amount of money and character, will notice, right? Well, and I'm not saying guys don't do it because guys do it too.
Yeah, yeah.
Guys do the same thing. But to me, the question is that how does that help me maximize who I am? And that's the thing. What accomplishment does that give me? If really to me it's none. I'm just saying it's me, right? So how does me going out and buying a new outfit every payday maximize who I am? All it does is have me sitting at home looking in the closet saying, look at all these fine clothes I got. That doesn't maximize who I am, right? What if I took that same money that I spent on that kind of stuff and spent on other things that improved who I am?
That's true. That's a great way to look at things. And I will say this also as a woman, because we do like to look nice. It makes us feel more confident as far as makeup and things like that. But it is also, especially if you're single, you want to be noticed. Even if you're not, I still think we do.
Even
However,
married women won't be noticed. But I can tell you, there are more nice-looking women with low self-esteem than you can shake a stick at.
Oh, I can, hands down, I can agree with you on that, because if you take a look at social media, when you see all of the different surgeries and covering up with makeup, not enhancing what you already have, but completely turning into different people.
And the tears.
Exactly.
Right. So I say that to say this. If we know that, right, but yet why then do women still strive so much to make the outer beauty rather than spending more time on the inner confidence and inner beauty?
Because they're not healed.
They're not whole. Well, maybe they've never been healed then.
That's right.
I think it's again, not a woman, never have been one. Don't claim to be one. Ain't gonna be one. But what I noticed is that that's a part of culture. That's a part of what we have been taught.
Okay.
What we have learned.
That's true.
Right. And so again, okay, certainly people have a right to dress, do what they want to do. But just because I look good on the outside don't necessarily mean I'm confident.
No.
It doesn't.
No.
And matter of fact, it's usually the opposite. The more confident ones are the ones that don't have to do that.
That's true.
See, when you're confident about who you are, you don't look to change who you are by any artificial means, right?
Sure don't.
See, a woman that gets breast augmentation is not confident.
Yeah,
because if you were confident, you wouldn't get it. You know, so so. I mean, I'm saying plastic surgery, all those kind of things. Okay, I know, ladies, y'all gonna say he don't know what he's talking about. But a woman that goes through the pain of getting her eyes tweezed, a woman that goes through the pain of waxing. Okay, waxing is not a process where it's I mean, if I'm going through pain to look better, then and what makes a woman even think that makes her look more attractive to a man?
Okay, well, I have
or attractive, period.
I would have to agree to disagree with you on that, depending on the level of pain, because I tweeze my own eyebrows. I do a lot of things for myself. But I get what you're saying.
But the question is why?
Because I got thick eyebrows. I like the way they are thick. I look like Cookie Monster. Really thick eyebrows. So I prefer, when I was younger, I felt like I looked like a little boy.
But see, here's the
eyebrows.
thing. No, but here's the thing, and I'm gonna tell you this, and I know, like you have a right to disagree with me. Okay.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying about culture and societal norms. So that's culture and societal norms that suggest to us that if a woman's eyebrows are thin, that's more attractive.
No, I've had them pencil thin. That is not cute.
No.
I just clean them up a bit.
No. I don't mean that to be, razor thin. I'm just saying, you said I had thick, bushy eyebrows.
I did.
My point to you is that the idea that thick, bushy eyebrows is not attractive is based on a social norm.
I see what you're saying, like a trend.
It's something we were taught by somebody. And let me tell you why I say that. Because in nature, right? we gauge beauty
Mm-hmm.
by functionality.
Mm.
That's how they do it.
Okay.
A woman selects a mate
Mm-hmm.
based on functionality and not based on, let's take the lion for example.
Okay.
Studies have shown that the male lion
Mm-hmm.
that has the darkest mane,
Oh,
they find more attractive.
really?
Yes. But the question is why?
Because he stands out more?
No.
Why?
It's because he can camouflage the best.
Oh.
Because the shadow,
Uh-huh.
the mange is like you can blend into the shadows of the brush.
Well, that's a survival.
Survival of the fittest. That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. See, so in nature, women always find the strongest,
Mm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So what they look for are those traits
Mm-hmm.
that tell them that it's functional traits. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Society changes that
Mm-hmm.
and says, let's not look at functional traits.
Mm-hmm.
Let's look at what we define as beauty.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Right? Look at. I mean, and that's changed over time.
Mm-hmm.
Because there was a time when a man didn't want a wife that wasn't, kind of strapping.
Yeah.
You wanted a woman that could help go out there in the field, help you in the field, help you plow, help you pick up, could help you go out and do hunt.
Okay.
But then
hunt.
That's right, because we got to eat the food. But as we progressed, down through the years, then it changed, and it was like you want a woman that can just go there and look pretty. Well, what's the function of what function is it for us to look pretty? Nothing. It was a societal thing, right?
And you follow society too, right? You want
no, I want a woman with brains. Right,
but
so
you
that's
have
functional.
Both. You have both.
I'm saying that's functional.
Okay.
I selected a woman that was smart enough to be able to get a job, to make as equal money as I could make.
Okay.
And I had made up my mind, and I said this to her when I was in college. I'm gonna tell you right now, I was taking a psychology class.
Okay.
I said this to the instructor. She said I was lying. I said, no.
Really?
She said, men don't want women that can make more money than them. I said, you don't know me.
It's priorities.
Because I don't want a woman just sit around and be pretty.
No, I
want a woman that can equal me in thinking, that can equal me in the ability to take care of the home.
Okay.
And if something happened to me and I need you to get a job, I need you to be able to pull in just as much income as I can pull in. Right.
Okay.
So to me, it was functional. Again, I'm not saying that everybody does that, but I'm saying when you think about what we do. And how it interferes with who we are and our ability to enjoy who we are. Okay, because if I got to compete, if I got to compete with all these guys, right? How can I maximize and how can I enjoy who I am if all I'm trying to do is be what you are?
True. Yeah, it's important to know who you are as a person. Well, for one thing, if you do, when that time comes, if you're out with someone, and like you said, you don't want to. I've had someone say not about me, but telling me about an ex that even when it comes down to, we always have this issue, women and men, where do you want to eat? I don't know, wherever you want to eat. Where do you want to go on vacation? Wherever you want to go. And he said that would just really make him angry. So they want someone that's interesting and someone that knows who they are, that can say no, like, hey, you give some good ideas sometimes, but in order to do these things, and regardless of all that, you still want to know who you are.
Well, you're right. You have to know who you are. And you also have to have positioned yourself so that your joy is not what you're counting on me to give you.
Exactly.
That's too much work.
I do agree.
That's just too much work. It's too much work if I got to make you happy.
That's true. And you're right. I had someone, that relationship I mentioned to you before, when I said I didn't know who I was, he even told me once, he said, I forget how he put it. He said, I'm not here to entertain you. And at that time, I didn't understand. I said, what do you mean? I'm not a kid. I don't need you to entertain me. But what he was saying is every weekend that I'm waiting to see, what are we going to do today?
Right, because people want other people to make them happy. They want other people to bring them joy. And when you think that way, your time being single becomes a time of uneasiness
I agree.
and a time of not enjoying who
It
you
does.
are and of not enjoying life in general.
Mm-hmm.
So life kind of gets on hold for not
Yep.
every single person, but for a lot of single people,
Mm-hmm.
they put their life on hold.
Mm-hmm.
And what I'm saying is that, you know, see, if you're happy with who you are,
Mm-hmm.
you're happy with who you are, whether you're married or single.
You're right.
Right?
You are right. Mm-hmm.
And if you're happy with who you are enjoying life.
Yep.
And if you are enjoying life, you're not looking for somebody else.
That's true.
Right?
Because you're too busy living
You too right.
and enjoying life and not necessarily posting everything on social media
Right.
either.
Now you may meet somebody
Uh-huh.
in the process.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're enjoying life to the fullest,
Mm-hmm.
you're too busy enjoying life to even think of that. I'm lonely or
That's
I need
true.
somebody.
That is
It's
true.
it's kind of like this. If I have the best car,
Mm-hmm.
I don't go to the car lot looking for another one.
That's right.
Because I already got the best car.
Mm-hmm.
So if I'm living my best life,
Mm-hmm.
why am I looking for someone else that can all of a sudden come in and alter my best life to
Exactly.
where it ain't good anymore? And so to me, that's the thing that I think that single people need to focus on. That's why to me that's the center of it,
Mm-hmm.
is that you cannot wait to live your best life.
Mm-hmm.
You have to live your best life while you're single.
I agree.
And live your best life so that when you do meet someone, you meet someone that enhances that which you have already done.
I agree.
If you're not living your best life and you meet someone that makes you happy, what happens is you will equate that happiness with love.
Yeah. And then if they walk away, then you're just shattered.
You're
completely.
Shattered again, right?
Yeah, and you don't know how to carry on. I think, and then a lot of times with divorced people, or just being in long-term relationships, we happen to fall into that trap where we think this person was making me happy when really they weren't necessarily making you happy. You get complacent or you just used to having someone there. And I think another thing we have to be mindful of as well is when we're not doing things to make ourselves happy, at some point that time that we have when we're so busy working and doing all of that busyness, I recognize that busyness in myself was a way for me, it kept me in this box where I didn't have to step outside of my comfort zone. So, and I began to recognize that I needed to stop, because what happens is you will crash and burn at some point when you're just being busy doing things.
Right.
So, and then also what will happen is you might reach for someone that you're unequally yoked with just to feel alive, and you begin to entertain things that you should not be entertaining at all. And that's because you don't have anything else going on other than all of the busyness and, the maybe ministry. It was ministry for me and work, but I didn't have any fun activities scheduled for myself.
Right. And that's the key right there. And that's why you have to focus on self, prioritize, right? And by prioritizing, I'm not saying you exclude, but I'm saying you recognize that there's an importance to developing who you are.
True.
There's an importance to saying, hey, wait a minute, I don't need someone else to give me what I need. I already have a God to do that.
That's right.
And so and that's key. I enjoy being married. I enjoy being married. I enjoy my children. I enjoy my grandchildren. But here's the thing. I know this one simple thing. I don't need any of them. So I don't need them. I want them in my life. I don't need them in my life. And that's because my joy is not centered around them.
Okay, I understand.
It's what the Bible says, that the joy of the Lord is my strength. And when it says the joy of the Lord, it means my joy in who the Lord is in my life.
Exactly.
That's where I get everything from.
Okay.
And that's where my joy comes from. And so if my joy is internal to my to my relationship with God, that changed the whole dynamic. Because if every one of them were not there, I would still have joy. Because my joy comes from God.
Okay.
Now that doesn't mean I don't want them there.
Yeah,
I do, but I would still have joy.
Exactly. Okay.
In my life, and that's what doesn't always happen, because we don't always prioritize the joy that we can have, we prioritize positioning ourselves so someone else can give us joy.
That's true. And I will say, I had to question myself. I began to question myself after hearing you speak on the things that you've done over time. And one day I just asked myself recently, I said, well, what do you like to do? I know the simple things that I like to do. I know I love uh, interior design. I know going for walks and things like that. I'll treat myself to dinner and movies. I like my own company. I'm okay with that.
Right.
But when it comes to stepping outside of that comfort zone, that's where I'm like, oh, wait. Well, what are some other things? I want to go horseback riding, but I'm scared to get up on the horse. So I'm going to have to conquer that fear,
Right.
Things like that.
Well, and I'll say this. Now, for me personally, I haven't stepped outside my comfort zone.
Really? Well, what do you call the things that you've done? What?
I was not uncomfortable with them. See, I was not uncomfortable scuba diving. I was very comfortable scuba diving. I wasn't uncomfortable flying. I was very comfortable flying. See, to me, that's not stepping. I'm just saying for me.
You like danger? Is that what?
No, it's not about. Okay. It's not about danger. It's about. Well, okay, I didn't do it to get out of my comfort zone. I did it because I wanted to do it.
You wanted to try it. Okay.
Not just try it. I wanted to be able to fly a plane.
Accomplish it.
Yeah, I wanted to be a bird, basically. That's what I wanted to do.
I see.
I wanted to be a bird.
Okay.
See, like, for example, I don't skydive. Okay. Because it's not something I want to do. And people will say to me, well, do you have a fear? No, I don't have a fear.
Yeah,
if I had a fear of heights, I wouldn't be up in a plane.
That's true.
I don't have a fear. It's just not something I want to do.
Okay.
So for me to skydive, it would be out of my comfort zone, but the question would be why? What am I gaining from it? See, I gain nothing from that because it's not something that I enjoy.
I got you.
Now, there are some things I haven't tried that I may enjoy if I tried them, but I'm old enough to know and have a pretty decent idea of what would give me joy
Gotcha.
and what would not give me joy,
okay.
Right? Like, for example, I've never climbed Mount Kilimanjaro. But I also know that I would enjoy doing it. Because I know how I am when it comes to being out in nature.
Okay.
Right?
Okay. Because you know yourself.
Right.
So
I know me.
Yeah.
So I know, even though it's a tough climb, even though it's a dangerous climb, I still know I would enjoy doing it because I enjoy pushing myself to the limit. I enjoy pushing my body to the limit. So I know I would enjoy doing it. So, if I don't have the money to do it, but if I had the money, then I would do it. I'm saying it's those kind of things that, and again, I'm not saying getting out of your comfort zone is bad. I'm just saying, for me, what I look at is, what are the things that I want to do that I haven't been able to do?
Okay.
And that kind of things, like riding a horse, for example, right? I wasn't born riding a horse, right? We didn't have horses at my house, but I've ridden horses oftentimes.
Really?
But that's because I wanted to do it. I wasn't afraid to do it. So if anybody get out of comfort zone, it was just, one of my, buddies growing up, he had a horse.
Oh, okay.
And so, I rode his horse. And then when I became a teenager with my own car, things like that, then I would just rent horses and ride them.
Okay.
But it wasn't being, it was something that I was always comfortable with, though. I'm just saying. There are some things I'm not comfortable with, and I don't do it. Right?
Yeah.
Like even, for example, and just right quickly, the time is moving on.
Okay.
It's like I was never a person that liked going to clubs.
Okay.
Right? Never liked going to clubs. Like some guys, no big deal. Friday night, they're going to the club. Lean upside the wall and spy, women out. Even when I was single.
Okay.
See, that was right in my comfort zone.
Okay.
Because to me, I didn't enjoy that.
Okay.
So I wasn't a club person.
Okay.
But I still liked to be around people. So I would find a house party in a minute.
Okay.
Because that was what I liked.
Okay.
So it wasn't a matter of the comfort zone, just that I didn't like that environment of the club. I don't like the environment of the club now.
Yeah, it's
I
okay.
like comedy club now. I go to a comedy club in a minute because I like comedy. And that's why I go to the comedy. I don't necessarily like entertainment in a huge venue. Now I will go because that's sometimes the only way you can see a person. But I prefer intimate settings.
Okay.
So rather than me going to Scope, if I had a choice, I wouldn't go to Scope. I would go to a small place to see an entertainer because I like the more intimate settings.
I totally
So
agree.
I'd rather go and see. I'd rather pay more money
Mm-hmm.
and see D.L. Hughley at a comedy club than pay less money and see D.L. Hughley at Scope.
That makes sense, though. I can totally
Because I
agree
like
with
the
you there.
intimate
Yes,
setting.
exactly.
So I'm just saying, and to me, that's how I look at everything that we have kind of gelled together here today. It is that you don't wait to enjoy yourself based on somebody else. You find out what gives you joy, where you are. You do what makes you feel good.
I agree.
If
That
it
makes
makes you
sense.
feel good.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying people don't step out your comfort zone. Because for some people, stepping outside your comfort zone is what makes you feel
exactly.
good.
That's exciting.
And if that's what it is, that's what you do. Just remember, you're single. It is you.
Now's the time to do whatever
it ain't your
you
job
want.
to try to make other folk, to try to take care of somebody else. You're single. Take care of you.
That's right. And I would say with starting small, just baby steps for some people. If you don't go to dinner or movies by yourself, try it. It's fun to me. I enjoy it. You can watch whatever movie you want to watch. And then also, I would say I love walking. I'm one of those people that I kind of like to think. I get in my head a lot. So, and then I want to travel to Italy. Once I start big, I want to go to Italy. I want to learn to speak Italian, things like that. So then make that list of accomplishments, just things like that, and just go for it.
Absolutely.
So,
well, I'll tell you, we've gone through 30 minutes very quickly.
Yes, we always do.
So, but, any last things to say before we close out for today?
I don't think so. I think we pretty much covered it all. So thank you for allowing me to pick your brain, telling all your business about your accomplishments.
And thank all of you for tuning in again.
Yes.
It's just always nice to have you. And remember, if you have anything, concerns, any questions, please don't hesitate to contact us through YouTube, any subject matters, and we will do what we can to make sure we are inclusive rather than exclusive.
Yes.
Thank you so much for letting us into your home again. Have a beautiful evening.